Hi guys, welcome back. I'm just about to leave home now. I've just had a phone call from a mate of mine. He's got his bike finished, so we're going to go have a look at it and see what it's all about. Let's go. So we've just landed at the workshop now. It's about 7 miles from my house. Let's go and see him. Some of you might recognise him. Hey, how's it going, mate?
Come in, mate. Yeah, it's good.
Good to see you.
Got me making chamomile.
I've been waiting for this phone call for a long time to look at this bike.
Sorry about the dog.
Where's Ted? Hey, Ted! All right, little man. Hey. Bit of Yorkshire tea, go on, why not? What's been going on?
Not a great deal, if I'm honest. I had a leisurely weekend this weekend, but yeah, bike's finished. So
Yeah.
I was hoping the weather would be a bit nicer today.
I know, yeah, I've seen a couple of photographs, but I'm really looking forward to having a look at it and having a chat about it.
Well, we'll get everyone and we'll
Yeah.
wander down.
Go down to the workshop. Nice cup of tea, that, Mike. Really nice cup of tea, but I'm liking this.
Yeah.
What have we got? Tell me about it.
Well, started off life as a 2022 EXC 450. Similar sort of build spec to yourself with yours, only this time using the Rade garage kit. My old one, like yours, had a Nomad kit on it. So I've experienced of fitting both of them now, and they're both decent kits, to be fair, but I've just thought we'd give this one a try.
Yeah, but you've been through a bit of a learning experience, really, haven't you? Because you built a 2015 450.
Yep.
With a Nomad Adventure tower kit on it.
Yep.
For various reasons, didn't use it much. Sold that on. Then you thought you'd have a go at a 690.
Yeah. Do you know what? That was
Couldn't get on with that, could you?
Not really. Do you know what? I'm not knocking anything, because I like that bike, and anybody out there that's got a 690, hats off to you, because they're a cracking bike, great fun, but you boys seem to like to ride a lot more hard adventure, as I like to call it, and it was just a bit too heavy. Well, not heavy for me. The weight seemed to be in the wrong place, and I just thought to myself, do you know what? I'll probably get on better with something that's a bit lighter. So, but let's make it a bit more travel friendly as well.
Yeah.
Still be able to do
I
something.
know when we were in Wales, you were on the 690 there, and you jumped onto Owls 500, and it was like just a different ball
It's like getting on a BMX.
Yeah. So we're here now. You did a deal with the guy with the 690, and you got this 450 now.
Yeah, I got this came up. A nice chap from down Essex Way came up and did a deal on the 690, and he had this, and it's mainly been used for green laning, full dealer service history. It's only got 75 hours on it. It's hardly done anything. Really clean. So happy with it, really. Yeah.
So that's how long ago was that?
Oh, that's end of October, start of November.
So it's been quite I mean, when you're building anything like this and making it to your own spec, it's very time consuming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anybody who's actually done one of these projects will know how time consuming it is.
Yeah, it's not just time consuming in the build process, but time consuming getting parts together and things. If you're trying to do it off your own back and source all the bits yourself from different companies and things like that, it can be a pain, and there's a lot of lead times, because none of this stuff's available in the UK. It all comes from wherever it's made. I believe the Rade kits are made in the Czech Republic. I might be wrong. But I use a company called Rade. There are other companies out there doing all this sort of stuff. But Ollie at Rade's never steered us wrong, has he, mate? So
No.
And I just told him what I wanted, and he put a build sheet together and ordered it all, got it all together, and did all the legwork. So he would have built the bike for me as well, but I quite enjoy this part. But if you're out there thinking you want one of these, but you don't have the tools to do it,
I know. I know. Ollie does build. Well, that's his job. He builds rally bikes, doesn't he? And he gets, he's told me actually, he gets customers asking him to turn a bike around, and they want it done in a week, and they're just like, no way is it? No way it's going to happen in a week at all. You might be lucky if you get it in a month at the earliest, because there's that much work goes in, particularly if you're doing a ground up build, and you're wanting a lot of electrics put into it as well. But we'll talk about that in a moment. But just starting with the fairing and the tower, you've gone for the Rade garage. What made you go for the Rade garage tower?
I don't know. Well, we had the Nomad before, and the Nomad tower's a cracking bit of kit, and the screen's great. But it was just, I don't know. I've been looking at these more and more, and because I was looking at doing this with the 690, and I sort of decided that the Rade garage kit was going to be the way forward. I thought, well, let's try it. Let's build the Rade one, and just see what it's all about. I would say to anybody wanting to build one, and you'll probably think the same, it's a great tower and everything. It's really light, but I'd say it's more of a race tower.
Yeah.
You could build it up in no time as a race bike, but trying to get everything on it, like I obviously wanted to make it more road friendly with an ignition switch and some warning lights and things. You haven't got a lot of room where the connections used to be for these warning lights and bits and pieces to do the joint work and things. So the electrics can be a bit fiddly with this one. Whereas the Nomad tower I found had a bit more room in it and everything. But I'm not disappointed with it. It's still spot on and it's worked out fine. So
yeah, that's what I was going to. That's what I was going to ask, the pros and cons of it compared to a Nomad. And like I say, it's very tight in there, isn't it? There's not a lot of room to move with the wiring.
No, it all works fine and it serves a purpose. But I mean, their fitting videos are really good online as well. If anybody's thinking of building one of these, the online instructional videos are quite good, but you need a certain level with the electric side of it. If you're going to move things and wire things up, you need to sort of sometimes think outside the box as well to get things to fit in that. But
it's like anything with anything aftermarket product. There's always some sort of jiggery pokery you've got to do.
Yeah, 100%.
You've got to make things improvise and adapt, so to speak. But I like the cover here covering the electrics on the front of the headstock.
Yeah, it's good that. It doesn't interfere with any of it in any way. It's been well thought out. But there's a lot of, if anyone has ever took a headlight off an EXC, one of these more modern ones, there's a lot that goes on behind there with the speedo and everything else.
Yeah.
And all the connections for the mapping switches if you've got them and other stuff. So there's a lot to fit in there. So it's one of those, when you're doing it, it's doable. Just make sure you've got plenty of time. You're not going to do it in an hour, basically. Just make sure everything's in there nice and not rubbing on anything. But again, anybody with any sort of level of how to use tools and skills and things could build one of these in the garage.
I'm liking the indicators, LED indicators. Any issues fitting those at all?
Fitting the indicators to the Rade tower is fine. They're actually an LED indicator off the GPX, kindly donated by myself.
Fancy that.
The wiring of the indicators is sound, and these brackets actually supplied for the indicators by Rade Garage. You don't have to run indicators if you don't want. If you're racing, you wouldn't bother. But again, we're planning on maybe doing some trips, so I thought nice to have indicators. Yeah. Had to butcher the whatever you call this part, the
tail tidy at the back.
I had to have to butcher that a bit to get the indicators to fit on the back. And then wiring wise, it's all there using the KTM standard indicator wiring loom that you can get from your dealer. It should come with your bike, but you can just pick them up from your dealer should you need one.
And LED relay with it as well, yeah.
LED flasher relay from a GPX as well. That doesn't fit the KTM loom directly, but it's quite easy just to make a plug for it and get it on there without actually butchering your KTM loom. Everything I've done on here, I've done without mullering the loom, so it can all go back to standard quite easily. Yeah. I mean, you could splice into the loom and do whatever you want, but... Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you about, because you've got the voltage regulator on the side here. Mm-hmm. Now, with the Nomad tower system, you've got to extend the wiring on that, haven't you? Which
is a pain.
It can complicate things unless you make a plug-and-play system like I did. Yeah. So my regulator, you can just unplug it and plug a new one in. Yeah. Where some people have extended their wires, and it doesn't really help you if you're out in the field and you have a breakdown, or you're at a dealer. Yeah. Having been broken down, you've got to have a new regulator fitted, and you've got to start butchering wiring again. Yeah, which my 15 with the Nomad kit on, I had extended my loom, as you say there, and I wish I'd gone down your route and made a plug for it. But I think you've made a plug using proper KTM connectors. So genuine KTM
all looks like it came from the factory, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So that's the best way if you're going to do anything with wiring, splicing, cutting things together. Make it look like it came out of the factory like that, because when you're trying to trace it out like a year or so after you've done it and you can't remember what you did, at least you can unplug things and test things and get your meter on stuff. So. Yeah, if the standard equipment is plug and play, it makes things so much easier, doesn't it? Yeah, 100%. Like even like the brake light switches and the starter buttons, things like if you've got to extend them, you can always buy the fittings to make them
extended.
A lot of stuff I've had to sort of extend into here as well, because the indicator warning light I wanted to put up here where I can actually see it. So I ended up using a second genuine KTM indicator loom to extend it and make plugs and things, so it's all can all come off and go back together quite easily. But you know, if you're thinking about building one of these, and you just got to think about ergonomically where you want things, because this little warning light is hidden by the new cover when you put it on, so it's no good to you. And I mean, you probably won't, a lot of folk won't run indicators, but if you're going to plan on doing a lot of road work.
But it's a carbon fibre affair, isn't it?
Yes, full factory
so
effect.
A lot of weight savings there compared to a normal ADV.
I believe it's something like 1.2 kilos or something, or 1.5 kilos.
Lighter.
The whole thing, that's what it weighs.
Oh, right.
I believe so, yeah. But obviously, we've got the tablet and everything on there.
And what lights did you get on?
They're just the lights that Rade Garage supply. I don't know if they do a Baja upgrade like the Nomad kit, but these are plenty bright enough, proper projector lights. You've got low beam is the bottom one, and then high beams both.
Let's have a look. Look underneath. So, on top of the fairing, what navigation system have you got set up?
This is the new T865 tablet from Thork Racing, should I say, and it's running the drive mode dashboard.
Does that boot up?
Yes, a lot of there's a lot of people really getting into these now, and they do a little T685. I believe it's a 685, which is a smaller mobile phone sized one. If you haven't got all this tower malarkey on and you just want something smaller, you can put on a quad lock, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
yeah. I'll let you put your passcode in there so everyone can see it. Okay.
second.
So
it boots straight up into drive mode.
Yeah. So DMD2, what can you actually do with this? Can you put a road book on it?
You can. There is. I've not experimented with that yet, but there is. They've got a roadbook app on this, so you can run roadbooks like Rally Moto Icebreaker or any challenges and things you want to do. This. I haven't got a map loaded at the minute, but you can put any UK map on this. You can download maps from direct from their website, depending on what country you're in.
Yeah.
Just get whichever map you want, so you're not using loads of memory up, and you can put your own GPX routes on this, like you would any other navigation device, like we do often.
Yeah.
And then you've got different things, like I've got things set up here: total trip time, where you're running to, total distance of the trip, your actual GPS speed, so you can have that rather than using your speedo if you don't want. But you can have different like this is the home screen. You can have different widgets on this, and it's Android powered, so you can run all your apps on it and other things. I'm not really interested in that. I just want it for navigation.
Yeah. Cool. So nice setup on the tower, the navigation equipment. You've got off-road valve system on the forks.
Yep.
K-Tech setup.
Yep, courtesy of the previous owner. He'd spent a little bit of money on the suspension. He's had the rear shock revalved and bits and pieces. So that was something I didn't have to do, which is nice. From a servicing point of view, I just went through, before I did this build, stripped it back, usual Robbo Robinson style cleaning, and then just greased and serviced everything, cleaned everything up, new set of rear brake pads because they were shot. Apart from that, it's tip top.
I've just noticed that obviously you've got the big tank on, and that you've trimmed the fairing size to fit the tank. Is that something that everyone's got to do when they buy one of these kits?
If you're running a standard tank or a power parts tank, I believe they'll just fit the side panels. But these bigger service tanks, you need to do some trimming. I probably could have made a slightly better job of this one, if I'm honest. The other side's better, but it's just a big tank with that big chunk sticking out there. I don't think they've got that on the service tank on the earlier model, on the 17 to 20. Because this one sticks out a bit, you've got to cut it. But I did a bit of research online, and plenty of other people have been doing the same.
Yeah, so it's one of those aftermarket things, one of those jiggery-pokery, adapt, improvise, overcome type scenarios.
Yeah.
What size tank is it?
15 litre.
Right, so you've got some good distance there with that. When I look at my bike, and it's, you know, with a 15-litre tank on, and I can looking at 180 mile before I fill up. It's great, isn't it? It's great to be able to do that sort of distance on a. So you know, with a full tank, for what we do, you're going to get a full day's riding before you need to think about fuel.
Yeah, I dare say we and you could ride from here up to the Dales, our usual run around the Dales and back again, and still have
Some left.
A bit spare, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Just tell me about the graphics. Where have they come from?
This is a graphics kit from TB GFX or TB Graphics, and they're based out of Allerton Bywater. But I just went and had a chat with the main man Tom there, and told him I used to have a 690, and I've just showed him a few pictures of different rally bikes and things. I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted, and he just proofed this up for me, and yeah, I really liked it. So we went ahead and done it, and I think he turned it around in about a week, and then I've just fitted them, and jobs are good. So they've not been used in anger yet, so they're not even scratched.
Yeah. And sump guard, you've got is that an AXP?
It is an AXP, yeah, Extreme 8mm plastic sump guard. I'll give them a go. Again, Ollie sourced me that, and he recommends them, and he's crash tested a few. So and he had nothing but good things to say. So I thought, right, we'll give them a go.
And you've got the Rhino clutch cover as well.
Rhino clutch cover, yeah, from again, that's a Nomad ADV product. Adds about 300ml extra oil capacity, and it's a good solid chunk of metal, so it doubles up as an engine case guard as well. So I think I can run something like 1500ml of oil in this now, I think it is.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And the foot pegs, what are they?
Oh, they're just a set of DRC foot pegs. I tend to run they're 5mm lower and 5mm further back, because I've got such long legs. I find even with standard foot pegs on, if I'm on a long ride and we're doing a liaison sat down, I get a bit of cramp.
Yeah.
But with these, they're not much different, but they just give you a little bit more leg room if you're massively tall like me, and they're quite inexpensive as well. I think they're less than 50 quid for these ones, and they help me when I'm stood up as well. Rather than having to have huge great bar risers on, I can stand a bit lower in the bike without compromising any ground clearance.
Yeah. I've just noticed that you've not got a steering damper on. But there's mountains there for the steering damper. Have you got plans to do that?
Potentially, yeah. The steering damper on the last bike, and the Rade kit comes with everything to mount a Scotch steering damper on, or an ET Racing copy, or anything like that. And again, I'd like to get one on, but just a budget thing more than anything at the moment. So,
yeah. And seat cover wise, are you looking at any sort of change with the seat? I know I've got the seat concept on.
Well, that's just the standard seat. Once again, with a usual sort of thing, budget constraints, and everybody will know it. I'd like a seat concept seat eventually, but I just didn't have the spare Wonga to get one at the minute. I do actually have a low seat that came with the bike that I might have a chat with the fella that made your custom seat for your GPX and see if he can make me an adventure seat out of this. But
yeah,
you know, we'll wait and see. But yeah, something will be happening with the seat, because I dare say I'll have a sore ass before long.
Just tell me about the luggage. You've got a Krieger small pack on at the moment.
Yeah, I just got a Krieger OS6 mounted up there for my tools and bits and pieces and first aid kit and stuff. I have got a full OS loop harness type affair for it with two OS 12s that go on the back, and then the 6 will sit on top of that if we're travelling anywhere. But when you're not travelling and you don't want all your bags on, I just chuck this on with all the bits and pieces. Gets all the weight out of your backpack. Just keep it on the bike. Nothing of any value in there, so it doesn't really matter if you've pulled up a cafe or whatever, and you can quite comfortably leave it on bikes with a few tools and some inner tubes and stuff.
And you're going for swing arm guards as well, just to keep the alloy from getting knocked and grazed.
Yeah, anybody who knows me knows I like to throw my bikes down the gravel track quite often, or lay them on their side, or I just like a little rest every now and again, and I'll have a little lay down, so I'll just keep everything as protected as possible.
And what gearing are you running?
Just a 1350 at the minute, which again, we've not even had a chance to shake this bike down yet, so it might be that we go to a 1348, or it needs a bit of testing more than anything, but I just went with a 1350 because that's what I used to run on the old bike, and it was fine. So whether it turns out to be too tall or too short, we'll see when we ride it.
Cool. Well, I'm soberly impressed. Yeah, I'm liking the tower, and you got back buster handguards as well, which I've just noticed.
Yeah, I've had them a while. They're a bit battered, for they've been on a few different bikes now. But
they've been inherited from another project.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they last forever, don't they? I could probably get some new covers for them, but you know, they'll be fine. The rest of the bike will end up looking like that before long.
Yeah, and I've snotted a disc guard on the rear as well. It's a nice little disc guard there.
It's an AliExpress special. As are the radiator guards.
Yeah, and yeah, I was going to look at the radiator guards and just, which they are a billet radiator guard, and they're good. They're just like what I use on my GPX TSE 300, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're pretty good.
Yeah, spot on.
Any plans to put a disc guard on the front?
Potentially, yeah. Again, it was just a case of just trying to button the project up, and there'll be little bits and pieces that get changed. I would quite like some Thork bottom guards, but at the minute, because it's not going to get used for anything particularly tough at the moment, it'll be fine as it is. But it'll probably end up with some kind of guard on the front as well.
Yeah, cool.
I think the only other modification we made was the Samco hose kit and T-piece in the frame. But apart from that, everything else is as it came from the factory. Apart from heavier spring for my immense load.
Well, it's awesome, mate. I can't wait to get out riding with you and hit the trails.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Looking forward to it now.
Yeah.
Be good.
Thanks, Mike.
No worries.
There you go, guys. That's Mike's hard adventure bike. I know it's a lightweight adventure bike, but we call them hard adventure bikes because we like to do a bit more technical riding with our bikes. But great platform is the 450 and the 500 as well, KTM. But any enduro bike, 4-stroke, whether it's 250, 350, 450, 500, they're all capable of being converted into, or being adventurized, as I would call it. Nice just to have a look at the Rade garage tower, because it's the first time I've actually seen one in the flesh, and it's quite a steady bit of kit and lightweight as well, being carbon fibre. So it'll be interesting to see how it holds up when we get out on the trails later on in the year. But that's it from me. Back soon with something else. If you've got any questions, ask them in the comments section below, and I'll get back to you and do what I can. So see you soon, guys.